Okay, this is October 17th, painting called Harmony.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this painting.
Lots of tendrils on the left side. Do you want to describe what it is, Martin?
Yeah. So I I saw the purple figures on the right or on the left are all curved up towards the middle figure, the black figure that's kind of extended up higher than any of them or any of the ones on the right. Those the brown figures that are curled over towards the middle also with the blue the blue lines in them, the blue kind of interiors. And so I one of the things I thought of is how harmony could be like in music, two different voices can be harmonious.
Yeah.
And so the figures on the left are singing a certain part of a song, and the figures on the right are singing in a different harmony or a different melody, but their voices are in harmony.
Mm-hmm.
And the figure in the middle is like the conductor,
Mm-hmm.
who's kind of sort of conducting them in how they're singing, and so it's like a little concert. They may be singers or musicians playing instruments. And then up above each of those two sides, above the purple ones, for example, is the yellow and the blue, and then that darker blue little jog. And that has a sense for me of what the tone of those singers are. You know, what their feeling tone is and how they're singing. And then on the right, what's up above them has kind of a darker, or it's a different feeling. Do you see what I mean? How they're more horizontal rather than vertical, and there's not a lot of lightness to it. So that, but those two sides could be in discord, or they could be enemies, or they could be arguing. But just because they're different, they don't need to be. They can be in harmony, because harmony means two things are different, but they get along.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what I thought about that.
Yeah, that's really good. That's amazing. Now it has double meanings.
It has what?
Double meanings, like harmony and peace with people.
Yeah.
Or instruments, or singing, or music in general.
Yeah.
Conductor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the signs, this definitely looks like a more softer sound.
Yeah. And if they were sort of alien sides, or the two sides were opposed to one another, say like in politics or political parties where they're in opposition, and they would be arguing with one another, and then there's just a sense that I have of how those two arguing sides can come to an agreement if there's a negotiator who can get them to look at the other side and see if there's something they can appreciate about that.
Mm-hmm.
So each side would look at the other side's sky and see it as they don't want to be under that sky. And so that they're opposed to the people on that side because their sky isn't what the way they want it to look.
Mm-hmm.
And because they see their sky or their point of view different, then they think of them, the people on that side, as being different or ugly or threatening in some way.
That's amazing.
You see the little creatures down on the bottom right?
Yeah. What do you think about them? There's one right there.
Yeah. Well, they're not on the other side. On the other side doesn't have little things like that. So maybe they're the children, and so that the bigger figures above are more like families or parents who are responsible for them, and so they can't see the other side's kind of playful openness the way that sky is. It's too undisciplined. If you have kids, you have to be more contained, like that sky is on the right.
Mm-hmm.
But on the purple side, there are a couple little creatures down there.
Here?
Well, I was thinking of, no, the ones above that. They're not little, they're big. Half little. No, the purple ones.
Oh, like this one?
Yeah, and the other little one.
This one here?
Yeah. But they really don't have any little ones like over on the right. They're almost like different creatures. Do you want to say anything about it, Catherine?
Well, Martin, I think that's the very best analogy I would want to come up with.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Very
you can appreciate how I'm seeing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when I described how I saw that, it was very persuasive in a way that you were able to appreciate it. But if I hadn't said that in the beginning, I wonder.
I lost your picture and your sound, Martin.
Okay, hold on, Catherine.
Okay, you're back. You're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to change my mind.
You don't want to change. So you like that. That's pretty good.
I mean, I didn't have anything to change, but
yeah. Well, that's what I'm really curious about, the process that I go through when I just paint the way I do. And you know that I'm not imagining any story or anything. What I'm curious about is how my imagination can make sense of it. And now also anybody's, anybody who takes time to look at it carefully, they'll be able to project onto it something that's gives it meaning for them. So that's what I like about that. The process of what I'm doing is that it's not so defined by one interpretation.
So you don't want to tell people what you were thinking?
Well, that's why I haven't up until now. But I don't think anybody's thinking.
I think given your comments on it is better than anything.
Yeah.
It would really help people appreciate the painting and how you used your imagination to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you used your imagination
Yeah.
to teach people. And
Yeah.
they know that when you drew it, you just drew it or painted it. But then you used your imagination to give it some meaning afterwards.
Yeah. 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 And I mostly imagined the meaning before I named it. So the name really is a description of what I've imagined.
Yeah.
The action is.
Right.
Well, I think you're right, Catherine. It is helpful to other people to see what I think about what I've painted.
Definitely.
And it doesn't restrict them necessarily. They may not want to do anything more on their own. But if you see how I do that, it's something that you can think that you could do that too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm going to do that. What I might do is take the recording and kind of transcribe what I said about it. Or not really. I think I'll just sit and write a comment about it rather than listening to the recording. Okay, so let's stop the recording now.